فاسألوا أهل الذكر إن كنتم لا تعلمون.
I tell you something that I wish to share with you. One of the brothers sent me an email, or I believe a Facebook message, I don't even recall, but attached was a small video of a known speaker in the United States of America, where he simply is saying it's okay to celebrate the birthday of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he's actually inviting those who say no not to condemn, not to publicize their rejection to such a practice. And when I watch such videos, I normally watch them from not to pick on the speaker or not to have an already built up reaction to it. No, I know him and I know where he stands and I know where he's coming from, but yet the subject was Mawlid An-Nabi, whether we should celebrate it or not. So normally when you try to watch such a video with that title, you try to dismiss any preconceived notion or feelings regarding the speaker and just listen to what he has to say as a student of knowledge, looking for an evidence that would establish his invitation. So his invitation was, it is okay, this is number one, to celebrate the birthday of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and it is a big no. He rejects the fact that individuals who oppose this view should speak about it, should speak about their position. Basically, they should take it easy on the brothers and sisters who are at the other end of this. Now, what criteria, what reason, what evidence out there for you to simply make that request? He did not mention hadith, he did not mention Quran. What he mentioned was that this matter, this subject, has been a subject of disagreement amongst the Muslims. And now, subjects of disagreements amongst the Muslims, if the subject does not have ijma', scholarly consensus on it, then it is a subject of disagreement. Then we should refrain from picking on the other side. Now, there is an issue here that I would call it tadlis. What do you know by, the scholars of hadith, they have something, they would accuse the narrators of tadlis. Tadlis meaning you're making a statement, but you're applying that statement to the wrong situation. Yes, it is true. A subject of disagreement amongst the first three praised generations, we should refrain from picking on one another Basically, you can go ahead and do it. I can go ahead and do it. And we should not pick up, pick on one another. That is correct. But I want to ask you this question. When did the people start celebrating the birthday of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? What year? Almost the year 430, 450 after Hijrah, during the era of the Fatimites, Al-Fatimiyin. And the Fatimites are known to be Shi'i Islam, people who came from the East, and they occupied the Muslim world for years. And simply they started introducing these practices. And it took them almost 150 to 200 years until the innovation was actually established in the Ummah, that it became like, a normal practice. Now, the scholars then, they said, okay, this thing is this and this thing is that. Brothers and sisters in Islam, do not be deceived by such presentations. This is very misleading indeed, because when we say disagreement and when we say ijma', we say ijma' of the first three praised generations of the Ummah. The ijma' of the Sahaba, the ijma' of the Salaf, the second best generation, and the third best generation. Beyond that, there is a doubt regarding the subject ijma' or consensus. Yes, it is true that there are some known scholars in the Muslim Ummah who legislated or said it's okay, provided that there are some restrictions on the practices. But again, brothers and sisters in Islam, those few scholars, we could say no to them. Why? Because celebrating the birthday of the Prophet ﷺ is an act of worship. And for me to begin an act of worship, to practice an act of worship, I must have an evidence. We do have that golden rule in our religion: الأصل في العبادة الحظر إلا بدليل والأصل في العادة الإباحة إلا بدليل. By default, all acts of worship are banned, are forbidden, unless you provide an evidence. And all all customs, all practices of Muslims, of people, things that you run your life with, whether you use a microphone or whether you use a camera, you can do whatever you want to do as long as the matter is not religion related. This is all permissible unless there is an evidence that tells you no, you cannot use that piece or wear that garment or so forth. When a student of knowledge like this one, especially when a lot of people are attracted to him and his way of delivery, when you speak like this, you're supposed to provide an evidence, and the evidence is that this has been practiced by the first three great generations. That is the least that you need to provide. But then you do this, you say, well, this is a matter of disagreement amongst the scholars. Which scholars? Which scholars? At the end of the day, disagreement, yes, when this disagreement, if this disagreement has taken place during the first three praised generations, that is true. But come on, Sheikh, don't do that. This is, you're really misleading here. I just felt like responding to this on the air, on that show, and hopefully, the brothers will make this video in response to that, and they can post it and hopefully this will answer the question that the brother raised, because he was conveying this message to me, defending the view of his sheikh, I believe, and he's trying to tell me, what you're saying is wrong, because here is the truth. But this is in response to that video, and hopefully you will find the truth there.